Hello everyone, I'm Joel from Natal Stories, and today I'll be editing a quick 1-minute short video for our own Instagram page. It's an educational video that we usually like to upload, and yeah, you're just gonna be able to see our workflow, how we go about editing, all the subtitles, the sound effects, the color grading, everything we do and we put into one of these videos, so you'll just be able to see the workflow. So I might not be able to finish everything up, but we'll try. Okay, so let's go about it. So first things first, as you can see, I have DaVinci Resolve opened, and I have everything set up here. We just really like to work inside folders inside this media pool, and it just so happens to be that we shot like a couple of videos the same day. So here's why we have like different folders, and there's a power grade and everything here. But let's focus on the folders we have, which is usually like to work with a timelines folder. So if there are different aspect ratios or different projects inside the same main project, we just have different times for it. If we have screen recordings, these are soundtracks, anything we have like resources, and then also the cameras. There's a camera A, camera B, and then just for the sake of this video, I put everything precisely in this Pixel 101 folder, which is the name of the series we go about. So again, I just open this timeline. If you want to create one, just right click, create new timeline. You can name it and you can use the settings you wish. I just made sure that in my master settings, I had everything set up at 4K vertical resolution, 24.9 frames per second, which actually matches the frame rate that we shot this in. And yeah, the rest of it, it just stays the same. And one very important thing that I would like you to set up is if you go to subtitles and transcription, and you can set your language to whatever language you're gonna be speaking in the video if you are speaking. In my case, it's English, so I just make sure I take all that so it's not gonna start grasping things in Portuguese or Spanish or whatever, okay? So that being said, I have everything ready to start working on it. So here are all the clips, and usually because it's two of us and it's two different people, and we have some shots where we're speaking to the camera and some shots where it's just B-roll, I just really like to color everything so I know what I'm working on in the timeline. So if we quickly go to this media pool, I know this is Aran, so what I'm gonna start doing is, because we also try to shoot everything like all together and compacted, so we go, if Aran's speaking, we go all in a row. If it's me speaking, we try to put those together so it's easier to shoot, right? So these are all the shots by Aran, so they end here. So I just shift click here, right click, go to clip color, and I just usually use the lime color. I know it's Aran's favorite color, so it's just easy for me to remember. And also for me, it's blue, my favorite color, so I just know that whenever I speak, it's just gonna be all blue. So I'm gonna shift click here, right click, clip color, and then I'm gonna use a teal. The rest, there are some more shots by Aran, which were a bit different, which is why we shot them later on. And then the rest, we have some shots here also where I'm actually speaking. Here's a shot of Aran speaking, so I'm just gonna color it as green. Same here with me. Sorry, that's navy. I wanted a teal one. And then these are just some resources. This is Aran speaking. So 3 shots of him speaking. Again, lime. And then this is one of me, clip color, that's teal. Yeah, that's me speaking. I don't think he's speaking right there. So these should all be resources. And this is definitely one of me speaking. So I'm just gonna do this, and then I can click Control, and actually I'm gonna shift click over these. I'm just gonna make sure for the resources, I usually use apricot. I just really like it. It pops out, it's different, so I know it's there. Just choose whatever color you want. And I'm just gonna make sure I don't leave anything. Okay, so that's one, which I'm gonna mark as well. And then these are also some resources. So there you go. Also, since we're usually shooting with this lavalier Rode mic, the audio is usually set to mono and only on the left side. So what we have to do, again, if you take a listen to this,
Art focus photos.
This usually only sounds to the left side, right? So what we have to do is to right click on it, clip attributes, and then when we go to audio, that's already set to stereo, but it actually only sounds mono on one side. So at the right channel in this track, it's just embedding it to channel 1, which is gonna make this audio sound to the right side. So now
Photos. Art focus photos.
It already sounds in both sides. So usually what we just do is just go here and make every one of them like go like this. You can see it's not well set up here. It says already that it's channel 1. So it's a bit weird, but we're just gonna make sure it's there. And just so you know, since sometimes we have both microphones open, that makes it a bit weird because sometimes we can forget about switching off my mic and switching on Aran's mic and then doing the same, but the opposite when I shoot video. It might be that I have set my first microphone to be on when Aran is actually speaking. So we're gonna spot that later on. It's just a quick reminder. Okay, so now also what we go and do is we right click on this Pixel 101 folder right here. You can also do it here. You go to Cam A, and because I know I have this here, I can right click on it, and go to Audio Transcription, Transcribe. I already did this, which is why it's not doing it right now. So I don't know if there is a way. Yes, I think there is. We're gonna audio transcript, clear transcription. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to this Pixel 101 folder, which you can actually go to the master if you want, go to your camera A and also access it from here. So I'm gonna right click on it. I'm gonna go to audio transcription, transcribe. And I'm just gonna wait a couple seconds here. It's gonna start transcribing all the audio. And this really makes it easy for us because as you can see, sorry, not this, because as you can see, we have we just work all the scripts that we create inside Notion, inside this database and everything, and it just makes it very easy for us. Also, not only in the shooting, but also in the editing room, because we just know what line goes first, and we can just use the auto transcription and make sure we have the latest part, which is usually the best take. So let's get back into DaVinci. It's already done, as you can see. And now we have all the clips transcripted. Usually it's very, very good. Sometimes there's some errors. Probably our pronunciation is not the best either. But of course, there's a little bit of error room there. But it's really, really good. So right now, the only thing I have to do is get into my Notion, and I know the video starts with struggling to get sharp focus photos. So I'm gonna right click there, audio transcription, transcribe, and I'm gonna use this magnifier here. And again, I know there's a word here that I can use, which is sharp, and I already have this. You see, these are all the clips that we have where DaVinci spotted there's sharp as a word there. So I just know it's Aran starting there, so we can see this.
Struggling to get sharp focus photos. Struggling to get sharp focus photos.
Okay, so I really like this second take. It's more dynamic and stuff. So I'm just gonna go ahead, and as you can see, I'm just placing the mouse over there, and I'm just clicking, so I'm over that part, and whenever I press play. So if I want to grab this part here, which is the second one, again, I'm just gonna select it like this, like if I was selecting text. And you can either hit F9, which is a shortcut to make sure the clip goes in there, or I can just drag and drop it. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. And I'm going to close this so you can actually see that it actually grabbed that part.
Struggling to get sharp focus photos?
And it got rid of all the rest. So this is really cool. It's really, really nice. We love editing with this. Now I'm just going to make sure it's well cut, and I'm just going to leave some room, and I'm just going to refine the cut later. This, remember, is just starting off with a rough cut. Also, next one is here's how to fix it. So I'm going to try and get this done easy.
Well, here's how to. Well, here.
Okay.
Well, here's how to fix it.
So we could be using this one, and I just noticing it's cutting this.
Here's how to fix it.
Get sharp focus photos?
And now we can use those clips. And you see.
Well,
Photo? Sharp focus photos?
well, here's how to fix it.
Boom. And then we have it. And now it's just a matter of going there and just making sure I've got them all. So imagine you frame this perfect shot. Oh, it's also me? Okay, imagine you frame the perfect shot. Okay, I see. So right there, I was just giving the line to Aran, so this is not the final shot. It should be this one.
Imagine you framed the perfect shot. Vale. Imagine you framed the perfect shot. ¿Y el último? Imagine you framed the perfect shot. Imagine you framed the perfect shot.
I think this one's gonna work the best with the rest of the edit. So this is why I'm specifically choosing this one. So let's leave it there. And then next thing is, and you press the shutter expecting it. Let's see. I think it's gonna be this one.
Press the shutter expecting it to look perfect.
Imagine you framed the perfect shot.
And you press the shutter expecting it to look perfect.
Imagine you framed the perfect shot.
Press the shutter expecting it, and you press the shutter expecting it to look and you press the shutter expecting
You framed the perfect shot.
and you press the shutter expecting it to look perfect.
Okay, I like this last one. As you can see, I'm just trying to go back and forth with my previous clip to see what matches best in terms of tone. This is also why we record different speeds and different tones, different intensities. We just give like 2 or 3 takes and that's done. So this should be matching quite well.
Shot.
And
The perfect shot.
and you press the shutter expecting it to look perfect.
That's beautiful. Okay, so next should be but the result. Okay, okay, there we go.
Perfect.
But the result?
And it was me saying it.
Let's go. Expecting it to look perfect.
But the result? The result? But the result?
We're expecting it to look perfect.
But the result? The result? But the result?
Let's try this because these are all quite similar. And I think I like some pause there because it's an important moment. It's gonna draw, I think, more dynamics.
But the result?
Expecting it to look perfect.
But the result?
There we go. I think that works. But the result, blurry and out of focus. We only did 1 take on this. I'm pretty sure it was good.
Result?
Blurry and out of focus.
Yeah. Okay, so next, frustrating.
Frustrating, right? Frustrating, right? Frustrating, right?
Okay, I like this one. It looks cool. Yeah. Okay, so
Frustrating, right?
okay, so that being done, let's go for the next. Let's make sure this doesn't happen again. As you can see, I just go quite quick with this. Let's make sure this doesn't happen again. Let's make sure this doesn't happen again. I think that was the best one because it was the final shot. So we had like 3 different shots, as you can see. We just really enjoyed the acting of the last one, the timing of grabbing the tripod and going away. So I think it's gonna be good. Okay.
I quan vulguis.
Okay, that's bad. And there we go.
Right?
Let's make sure that doesn't happen again.
There we go.
And autofocus.
Frustrating, right?
Let's make sure that doesn't happen again.
Love it. Also, it was a windy day, so I don't think the audio is that bad, but it was very windy. We were worried about the audio quality, but seems good for now. Now let's get to the next one. That's 8 already. And then autofocus, let's go for this. It says autofocus is your go-to for most shots. That's a better word to find.
Focus is your go-to for most shots. Autofocus is your go-to for most shots. Autofocus is your go-to.
Okay, I think this is gonna be the best. Also in terms of movement, we thought about this to match a little bit the movement where Aran in the previous shot is leaving the frame, and this,
Again.
yeah, I should be grabbing this
Autofocus.
Again.
Autofocus.
a little bit like that.
And again.
Autofocus is your go-to for most shots.
There we go. We're at 18 seconds. Then, sorry, I missed where I'm at. Okay, here, 10. Single autofocus. And then,
Single autofocus works great for subjects that stand still.
oh, I hit the tripod. Oh no.
Single autofocus works great. Single autofocus works great for subjects that stay still. Single autofocus works great for subjects that. Single autofocus works. Single autofocus works great for subjects that stay.
Okay, let's try with this one. Maybe it might not match exactly the same tone, so we're gonna have to take a look at that.
Shots.
Single autofocus.
Okay, it's a bit intense. Let's see how the first one works. Otherwise, it's just gonna be perfect. Subjects that stay still. Okay, so let's bring that here. I'm gonna deactivate this one by pressing the D key.
Most shots.
Single auto.
Let's give it some room and space. Okay.
Most shots.
Single autofocus works great. Can happen again.
Autofocus is your go-to for most shots.
Single autofocus works great for subjects.
I said single autofocus.
Autofocus is your go-to for most shots.
Single autofocus.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. I just found it too repetitive, but it just messed my mind. I think it's good. And autofocus. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of this one, and once that's done, continues.
And continuous autofocus shines when your subject is moving. And
Okay.
continuous autofocus shines when your subject is moving. Un'altra. And continuous autofocus shines when your subject is moving.
Single autofocus works great for subjects that stay still.
And continuous autofocus shines when your subject.
I like this one. Okay, so there's not a lot of change between them, so I just find this one to work.
Still.
And
Stay still.
and continuous
Stay still.
and continuous autofocus shines when your subject is moving.
Also, probably you've already noticed the audio is changing a bit. Whenever I replay that in the preview system and whenever I replay that in the timeline. That's because I think I duplicated the settings from one timeline to another. And yeah, as you can see, it's only one audio changing, and there's some effects here. So as of right now, I'm gonna deactivate it, probably even reset it and reset this as well. Yeah, and we'll just take a look at that later. So let's keep it there. We're almost done with this, but autofocus isn't perfect. So let's open this again. Sorry, this one. And it said isn't perfect. So let's find this one.
But autofocus isn't but autofocus isn't perfect. But autofocus isn't perfect. But autofocus isn't perfect.
Okay, I like this one. Yeah, it looks cool. Very clean.
It's moving. But autofocus moving. But autofocus isn't. But autofocus moving.
I think
but
that's good.
Autofocus isn't perfect.
Okay, and what about now? In low light,
In low light, in low
Okay.
light or close-ups, it might miss the mark. In low light or close-ups, it might miss the mark. Light or close-ups, it might miss the mark.
I think I like the first one better just because I hold the acting a little bit longer instead of this one like leaving like right away, so I have no room to cut. That's something that I usually struggle with a lot. I just, whenever I'm done with the sentence, boom, I just turn away, and that's something I should be working on.
Close-ups, it might miss the mark.
Okay, so then we have therefore
switch to
the manual focus,
for precise control.
and then
Therefore, switch to manual focus for precise control.
I like this one. It's very explanatory in terms of movement, so I like it.
The mark.
Therefore,
And I'll just keep it there.
Therefore, switch to manual focus for precise control.
There we go. And then we have so the trick. So the trick.
So the trick for sharp photos.
Yeah, I know. There's a cut there.
So the trick for sharp photos.
Okay, that's that one I like.
So the trick for sharp photos.
And this one I like also.
So the trick for
I think I like this one. There's more layers to it. Like there's it's me turning, it's me looking at Aran.
So the trick for sharp photo.
And now it's gonna be Aran speaking, and is to choose. So let's keep it there.
So the trick for sharp photos
is to choose the right mode for the right moment.
So the trick for sharp photos
is to choose the right mode for the right moment.
Okay, so I think I'll grab this.
Is to choose the right mode for the right moment.
And as you can see,
Is to choose. Is to
sharp photos
is to choose.
Photos
Is to choose the right
photos. So the trick for sharp photos
is to choose the right mode for the right moment.
love it. I just really like these kind of changes. The light there is not the best because there's some things changing there, but we're gonna pardon ourselves. Let's not be too hard. So yeah, next one should be. So next time you're shooting, I know.
So next time you're shooting, ask yourself before starting.
That one's really cool. That one's really cool with the crash zoom effect right there that we did.
So next time you're shooting, ask yourself before starting.
Love it. And then we're gonna have what focus mode will be the best? Okay. Suit my needs. Only one here, so probably only one we recorded.
Starting.
What?
for starting.
What focus mode will best suit my need?
My needs. It's cutting the S off a bit, so I'm gonna make it a bit longer. Then
pick your mode. Pick your mode. Then pick your mode. Pick your mode.
so I'm gonna be using this. Let's see how it goes.
Needs.
Then
My needs.
pick your mode.
Pick your mode. Save this tip.
Save this tip for our next shoot. Okay? Save this tip for our next shoot. Save this tip for our next Save this tip for our next shoot.
I like this.
Then pick your mode.
Save this tip for our next shoot.
And see ya. Which is around here.
See ya. Like it out? See ya.
Okay, yeah. So that's done, guys. Everything's been cut already.
See ya. Good. See ya. Good. See ya. Good. See ya. For our next shoot. See ya. See ya.
And it should start all over again. Because whenever I put an output there and I loop it,
See ya.
Struggling to get sharp focus photos?
there we have it. Now, one of the first things I'm gonna start doing right now after having cut everything up, also as you can see, and that right there I missed, so I should go to the end. That I shouldn't have it like this. I should I'm gonna mix these because I want to keep each one at the same level. Okay, so this is gonna be Joel, this is gonna be Aran. Okay, that, yeah, this is bad just because I duplicated the timeline. This is why, and I had set it up differently. So now you just have that there.
See ya.
And I know there's gonna be the first layer is gonna be for Aran. I mean, second layer is gonna be for Aran. First layer is gonna be for me, for my audio. So I'm gonna treat those differently. Okay, and I just have everything well organized. Now, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna Control A, Command A if you're on Mac. And what you can do is right click and go to normalize audio levels. I have a command which is Control Alt N. You can set it up in the settings. And usually I like going about it like going true peak. I set this to independent and I go -3 dBs. So I normalize everything. And as you can see, here's the difference before and after. There's definitely those from Aran here at the end. They're just going up a touch and it's just trying to make everything like peak at -3 dBs. So it's gonna uniform everything a little bit so I don't have to manually go in each one. Maybe I have to do it, but it's just a simpler process.
Struggling to get sharp focus photos?
Well, here's how to fix it.
Imagine you framed the perfect shot and
Okay, so there you have it. Now, one of the first things I like to do just to make sure the audio sounds good also, probably you'll have to do that on your own. I don't know a lot about audio. That Aran will help you a lot more in the future. But there's one thing that works really well for me, which is that since we're usually recording with the same microphone and it's the same tone from us, there's some sort of preset that he made himself. So if I go to EQ, I know, so audio one is for me, so I'm gonna be using my EQ preset, which is gonna make things sound from this.
Here's how to fix it.
imagine you framed the perfect shot.
And you press
But the result?
blurry and out of focus.
Frustrating, right?
it just makes everything sound a bit different.
Imagine you frame the perfect.
So it sounds better. I don't think the one inside the office sounds the best, actually. I'm liking more
Well, here's how to fix it.
the one outside, but I don't know a lot about audio either, so I cannot help you a lot with that. And then again, I'm gonna use the second one for Aran, and then
Single autofocus works.
it's usually like a quick way for me to get things done. And then if Aran gets in the video and he can work on the sound effects a little bit more precisely, that's perfect because he knows a lot about that. So probably, of course, he's going to do a better job at explaining you. As of right now, I'm just going to keep it there. And usually
Struggling to get sharp focus photos?
what I do,
Here's how to fix it.
Imagine you.
I go
Well,
dialog
here's how to fix
expander.
it.
Imagine you frame the perfect shot,
And you press the shutter expecting it to look perfect.
but the result.
Or Safni, any one of these like works for me. I usually just switch them on. I don't know, but that's it. So let's go full expander here.
Well, here's how to fix it.
Imagine you frame.
Okay, so that being done, now it's time. I usually like to work on the grade. I like to see things well wrapped up and everything. So I'm gonna be hiding this media pool. I'm gonna go to color grading and start with this. Later on, I'll have to add all the resources, but I'll start with this so I know how it's gonna look and everything. Again, there's very recently we launched. Okay, so now very recently we launched our free power grade using the Kodak 2383 film print. It's right in the description if you guys want to grab it. It's free to use. It makes everything like so quick. Of course, I have many different power grades that we've already been color grading and using. However, just for the sake of this, again, we're gonna, not this still, sorry. It should be this one right there. That's the power grade. So with just one click, as you can see, okay, that's maybe not the best frame, but this one is. So just with one click, again, I'm gonna reset the node and I just click on it, apply the grade, and it just adds everything. It's not a lot, it's a power grade where you have every single node displayed, so it just takes away those 5 minutes every single time, every new project or clip that I have to place everything in. And then I just have to adjust some stuff. So for example, I'm noticing we shot this a bit underexposed, and you can see that already. So that's why it looks like this. But since we're shooting like in HLG and we're shooting with a Sony a7 IV, it doesn't matter. We can actually bring it up a bit. So I just like to go to HDR and let's go bring it up a bit. Taking a look at the skin, I like to zoom in a bit because I don't want to go too bright, but I don't want to go like too dark like this, right? So something that keeps a nice contrast and nice ratio, which to me looks something like this. And then if I want to set up the contrast a bit, I can change it up a bit. So I'm gonna bring the shadows up. And usually inside the exposure, if I feel like the skin tones are like too high up, I usually like take a look at where it's affecting, which is usually the light or the highlights. And I usually bring them down a bit, and taking a look at those, I'm just gonna bring those out. So yeah, that looks good to me. Also, I'm feeling like I would like to go to the vector scope, see how my white balance looks. It should be already set to it precisely, since we illuminated this with 5600 Kelvin, and the camera was already set to that also. So the skin tones look like, the tones look good. They might be just lacking a bit of saturation for my taste. So I'll try and do that and just play around a bit with this. But as you can see, if I move it a bit, it's just not there. Also, if we take a look at this here at the vector scope, and I use the droplet, what is it called, the qualifier, I can see definitely that these are sitting right there on the skin tone, so it looks perfect. So I'm gonna keep it there, and I'm just gonna try and bring the saturation up. A method we're using here is using the color space. HSV for the saturation, and we deactivated channels 1 and 3. So we deactivated channels hue and value, and we're just keeping the saturation. And now this allows us to go into the primaries and start using the lift gamma gain to apply saturation or subtract saturation from the light areas, the midtones, and the shadows. So it looks really good because I usually like to bring the gains up a bit. And you'll see right there. Right now it's at 135, but we can bring it to a bit higher, like 140, 142, that looks good. And I'm not bringing the shadows up. So there's a really nice ratio here, like really nice poppy colors that are dense, and there's just some density right there. However, I can also bring the gamma up if I feel like it. So if I bring it, that's going like way up. That's like 009, it brings everything way up. But maybe going like +1, sometimes it helps. But you can also subtract if you want it. So it's more muted, as you can see, right? It's more muted. But yeah, just because we really enjoy it, we're gonna go up a bit so it looks fresh and colory. So right there, that's the difference, and that's the quick before and after. And now, because we're shooting everything here, I can just start and apply everything. So as for the interior shots, I'm gonna be using the same. And let's try this with mine. I might have to adjust because it's different lighting. I'm more whitish, so I'm gonna need more saturation, that I can tell. But for Aran shots, I can do this already. This one might be a bit different. This one might be as well. But that should be pretty much it. So this one should be perfect. I can adjust this one a bit. I think I'm gonna enjoy having more saturation in this one. That's a bit of a difference, and maybe bringing the gamma up a bit here. Maybe that's a bit tiny too much, but
Choose the right mode
just a tiny bit too much. Let's keep it at 2.
for the right.
That looks good to me. This should be set up already.
But
Maybe I'm gonna bring this up a bit as well. And maybe the exposure down just a touch. Yeah, I think I like these deeper colors. And then
blurry.
not much else we have to do. Let's go for my shot. Exposure is a bit high. As you can see, that's better. Still, we can make it go a bit higher, I think, and maybe more contrasty. I think it lacks contrast.
Imagine you
This I like better. And then maybe as for the saturation, I'm just gonna bring the mids up a bit. This here. And
frame
that will do. So now you can see there's not so much of a difference. They're just two different shots, but in terms of saturation and exposure, they look quite the same. So I'm gonna bring everything together like this, and then I'm just lacking the exterior shots. So again, I'm gonna be using the same thing here, copy pasting one of those. And maybe for the saturation, I'm just gonna reset and do it manually. So let's go here. Let's go again, let's bring it up. That looks good. And that looks way too much to me. So I'll keep it there.
Fix it.
And then it's just a matter of going there
Frustrating,
and
right?
fixing things. I don't think the white balance is bad. I enjoy it how it is. And this one might be a bit overexposed. So I'm gonna keep it down a bit. Also, I can bring the waveform and make sure it looks clean. So exposure still can go down a bit. I like to keep things a bit underexposed. And then apply this over there as well.
Save for.
And I like everything how it looks. So yeah. Let's see how these two match.
And pick your mode.
Save for.
These are good enough for us. And last but not least, this one, which looks a bit different. It's more contrasty, so I'm gonna bring...
Next shoot. See ya.
That looks amazing. Okay, so now that everything is set up, it's time for us to start bringing in everything else. So all the different modes and everything, start bringing in the music, seeing how the shorts and the resources cut. So I think I'm gonna first start with the soundtrack. So let's choose one of them. I have already downloaded some of them through Artlist. You can also, guys, get a subscription there. It's what we use, and sometimes we also use some trending audios. But for the sake of this video, we'll just keep one of the Artlist songs. So let's see how they sound. Okay, so I think this could work. It's a bit chill, so might be not as engaging, but we'll see how it goes. Let's click this one here. Also, before putting it there, actually, I'm gonna Control Z. I'm gonna Control A each one. Sorry. And now I'll just right-click on it and just color it in violet. I just really like using this color because I just know that that is the soundtrack. That's what I usually set it to. But again, I'm going to be putting this audio here. Let's see how it sounds. And I'm going to choose like one or two more that I think are going to work. This one I like. That's a bit too much. Yeah, I'm vibing with this. That could work. It's okay, not this one. This could work also. This could also work. And this one is funny. So it's a bit of a different one. But as I already can see that it's not going to work because it's shorter than the video. So I don't think I'll choose that. So let's try with these two as for now. So let's start with the chill version. And I just know
Struggling to get sharp.
it's very high up there. It's so I'm gonna bring the volume down, maybe to minus 20. Let's see how we go.
Get sharp focus photo. Struggling to, therefore.
Maybe minus 18. And no, not 100. So already what I'm gonna do is I'm not a big fan of the introduction part of this song. I think it needs the drop,
For subjects that stay.
which if starts there, right? So now that this is just like slowing the file. So I'm just gonna try and see where the drop should actually go.
Focus photos.
Well, here's how to fix it.
Imagine your friend.
Okay, so I think the drop should come there. So it was almost there.
Fix it.
Imagine your.
So there you go. We have this.
Struggling to get sharp focus photos.
Well, here's how.
Struggling to get sharp focus photos.
Well, here's how to fix it.
Imagine you framed the perfect.
Okay, so I can already see. I don't think I'm a big fan of this song choice for this video. So I'm already gonna get rid of it. I don't think it'll work. But let's try with this.
And you.
The result.
The drop is there, right?
The perfect shot.
And you press the shutter expecting it to look perfect.
But the result.
Blurry and out of focus.
Frustrating.
And out of focus.
Frustrating, right?
Let's make sure that doesn't happen again.
Out of focus.
Oh,
That doesn't happen again.
Out of focus.
It's a pity that,
And you press the shutter expecting it to look perfect.
But the result?
because right now I'm thinking the drop should come later because there's some foreshadowing and explanation of what could happen and just some imagination. So again, let's try first. Let's try keeping it short here and starting with a drop before. Otherwise, we'll just duplicate these 4 nodes at the beginning and go for another round and let's see how it works.
Struggling to get sharp focus photos?
Well, here's how to fix it.
Imagine you framed the perfect shot,
And you press the shutter expecting it to look perfect.
but the result?
Blurry and out of focus.
That works.
Right?
I don't need.
Make sure that doesn't happen again.
I don't think we need
Is
much.
your go-to for most shots.
Single autofocus works great for subjects that stay still.
And continuous autofocus shines when your subject is moving.
But
I'm gonna bring the volume of this down a bit.
isn't perfect.
In low light or close-ups, it might miss the mark.
Therefore, switch to manual focus for precise control.
So the trick for sharp photos
Is to choose the right mode for the right moment.
So next time you're shooting, ask yourself before starting.
What focus mode will best suit my needs?
then pick your mode.
Save this tip for your next shoot. See ya!
Struggling
That's good. That's good. I don't think the song needs much, so I'm just gonna fade it away here, I think.
See ya!
Struggling to get sharp focus photos?
Yeah.
Well,
That looks good. That seems good for me. So with that being said, and all the shots there, right now I just need to first place the B-roll. So I'm gonna go check which shots have actually B-roll. So this is taking photos outside, struggling to get sharp focused photos, and let's see what we actually shot outside. So we have this shot.
well, here's how to fix it.
So let's see.
Well, ya está.
Okay, this one has some movement, so I'm gonna grab this and I'm gonna grab it from the audio here. And again, because we use the same video to speak, so this should be actually set to apricot, but I'm just switching it inside this clip, not the whole clip. And I know this.
Struggling to get sharp focus photos?
Well-
Struggling to get sharp
Focused photos.
Struggling to get sharp focus photos? Struggling to get sharp focus photos?
Well, here's
What happens if we grab
Focus
it?
photos?
well, here's how to fix it.
Struggling to get sharp focus photos?
Well,
And what happens if we go like this?
Struggling to get sharp focus photos?
well, here's how to fix it.
Maybe I like this.
Struggling to get sharp focus photos?
Well, here's how to fix it.
Yeah, I like this
To
actually.
get sharp focus photos?
And again, I'm gonna use the same color grade as here because it's the same clip, so it should just work.
Struggling to get sharp focus photos?
Well, here's how to fix it.
Imagine you framed the perfect shot.
And
There we go. Now, adjusting the tripod outside. Imagine you frame the perfect shot. So I think I'll use this. So I'll grab this clip.
photos?
Well, here's how to fix it.
Imagine you framed the perfect. Imagine
Fix it.
Imagine you framed the perfect shot. Imagine you framed the perfect shot.
And you press the shutter
And you press the shutter.
expecting
So there we go. Okay, so this, I can see I had the sound, so I'm gonna keep this one with the sound, as you can see.
and you press shutter, and you press shutter,
I just like to elongate these so it actually fades in a bit before the clip starts. It just makes everything smoother.
and you press shutter, expecting shutter, expecting it to look,
Expecting it, and you just press the shutter. Expecting it. Okay. That's a bit funny, eh? Okay.
shutter, expecting it to look perfect.
But the result,
Shutter,
Let's
expecting
resolve
it to look perfect.
but the result,
Perfect.
but the result.
Okay. So let's see how we're doing for now. We're just gonna make sure we have the color on these clips like set up. Okay. And let's see.
Struggling to get sharp focus photos?
Well, here's how to fix it.
Imagine you framed the perfect shot,
And you press shutter, expecting it to look perfect.
but the result?
Blurry and out of focus.
Okay, so we have this. Now, reacting to preview. Now, blurry and out of focus.
Blurry,
So I know I'm gonna have to be using adjustment clip here to achieve the blur. I'm gonna try and make it more visual.
blurry and out.
Blurry and out of focus. And inside the effects, that's just where I grab the adjustment clip. I'm gonna type in blur, and I know it's an open effect, so I'm gonna have to click on the tab, and just Gaussian blur works for me. We can just fade it in like 8 frames.
And out of focus. And out of focus. Blurry,
And maybe go like this.
blurry and out of focus. Blurry and out of focus.
But the result?
Blurry and out of focus.
For sure.
Blurry and out of focus. Blurry and out of focus.
For sure.
Maybe let's
Blurry
keep it.
and out of focus.
Frustrating, right? For sure.
And I think I can make this go here.
Focus.
Frustrating, right?
I think it was just a bit, there was a bit too much time in between first shot and
And
next
out
one.
of focus.
Frustrating, right?
Let's make sure.
Okay, and now I know the music is a bit longer because I cut some space there. So let's keep it like this.
Struggling to get sharp focus photos?
Well, here's how to fix it.
Imagine you framed the perfect shot,
And you press shutter, expecting it to look perfect.
but the result?
Blurry and out of focus.
Frustrating, right?
Frustrating. Yes, it is. Okay, so next is, let me make sure this doesn't happen again. So let's talk to the camera, grab the tripod and leave the frame to the left. That's there, so there's no B-roll, and brings it, okay, so autofocus is your go-to for most shot.
Again.
Autofocus,
Then we have this manual switch here. There we go.
autofocus is your go-to for most shots. Single autofocus is your go-to for most shots.
Single auto.
And then going into the selection. This clip is not it. Okay, that's good. Now single. and then I'm going to jump cut to this. I'm not going to loop it.
Single autofocus works great for subjects that stay still. Single autofocus works great for subjects that stay still. And single auto
This takes too much time, so I have to go very quick with
Single-
these cuts. Give it
Single-
some time there.
autofocus works great focus works great for subjects that stay still. And
There we go. I think that's a good cut. That explains it nicely. And then we have and continuous autofocus, and we just have to select the continuous on screen and the screen recording using IAF. Okay, so I think we should have that also. So let's use this here.
And continuous autofocus. Shines when your subject
Okay, let's have somewhere where he's moving a bit more.
shines and continuous autofocus shines when your subject is moving,
but
when your subject is moving,
autofocus isn't.
when your subject is moving.
But autofocus isn't perfect.
In low light,
Okay, let me think about this. I think there should be a clip, which should be this one. Yeah, that's perfect. That's a perfect example of what sometimes the autofocus does, and it messes up. So we accidentally it accidentally happened to us while shooting. So it just made it was just funny, and it made sense for us to have the clip and
in
show
low
it.
light or close-ups, in low light or close-ups, it might miss the mark. Close-ups, it might miss. Close-ups, it might. Close-ups, it might miss the mark.
Therefore, switch to manual focus for precise control.
So the
And then we have this other last clip here. Therefore, switch to manual focus.
Therefore,
Switch to manual focus. For precise control.
switch to manual focus for precise control.
So the trick for sharp photos
Is to choose the right mode for the right moment.
And the rest doesn't really have B-roll.
So next time you're shooting, ask yourself before starting,
What focus mode will best suit my needs?
then pick your mode.
Save this tip for our next shoot.
See ya.
How to fix it.
Imagine you frame
All right. So we should be done, guys, with all the clips and B-roll. So right now we just have to make sure. Okay, this looks good. Now this we could be using.
Single
I don't need no more. So here's the magic part of the power grade. I just click the mouse wheel button. I just adapt everything. Everything looks clean and good, and yeah, it's just fine. Of course, we're gonna have to make this less like this, but it's good, and also less saturated probably is the thing here. And just to make sure we understand it's a low light, just gonna make it darker. And just like that. And we should have everything ready. So let's take a look at it.
struggling to get sharp focus photos?
Well, here's how to fix it.
Imagine you framed the perfect shot,
And you press shutter expecting it to look perfect,
but the result?
blurry and out of focus.
Frustrating, right?
Let's make sure that doesn't happen again.
Autofocus is your go-to for most shots,
Single autofocus works great for subjects that stay still,
and continuous autofocus shines when your subject is moving.
but autofocus isn't perfect.
In low light or close-ups, it might miss the mark.
Therefore, switch to manual focus for precise control.
So the trick for sharp photos
Is to choose the right mode for the right moment.
So next time you're shooting, ask yourself before starting.
What focus mode will best suit my needs?
then pick your mode.
Save this tip for our next shoot.
See ya.
Struggling to get sharp
Of it. I just feel like the blue saturation in the exterior is a bit overdone. And that's already built in the power grade. But I'm gonna add another thing, which is going to be Alt S, so that's another node, and I'm gonna rename it to HSL. I'm gonna go to the curves, to hue versus saturation, and I'm gonna select every one of them so I can just have certain points to work with, and I just already see where the blues are, where there's the peak, and I'm just gonna try and make it like subtle, but definitely bring it down, and that's the difference it makes. So maybe not so much, but definitely a tiny bit where it's not like so in your face. So I'm just gonna duplicate this here, and you can see the difference it makes to the blue. Again, I'm gonna do it there, but also have to bring the exposure down. I already did that before, but let's do it again since I copied everything now. Yeah, it does help a lot. And this one's same. So that should be it, really. This one as well. Oh, and this one.
Struggling to get sharp.
Perfect. Just to make it a little bit more dynamic, what I'm gonna be doing is I like to work on some dynamic zooms. So I go to Effect, and I go about it using adjustment clips, okay? So I'm not doing individual clips, so it's easier for me to copy paste the effects. So I just click on the adjustment, I click on the dynamic zoom, and right now
Struggling to get
I have the zoom. It's a bit overdone, so what I'm gonna be doing is click on the dynamic zoom here, and I'm gonna make this not so small. So the difference, this is point A, so this is where the zoom, how zoomed in is at the beginning, and the red is how zoomed out is at the ending. So again, if there's a short clip and we start with this,
struggling to
it's very quick, right? However, if we go ahead and do it like this,
struggling to get
it's not so much. So I just feel like a good thing here, a good rule of thumb is just feeling. Just try it out. So yeah.
struggling to get sharp focus photos.
And now the good thing is I just alt drag and I just have everything ready. So
Get sharp focus photos.
Well,
here's how, again, we can do this, which is amazing because I can just copy paste like really quickly what I'm doing.
Struggling to get sharp focus photos?
Well, here's how to fix it.
Imagine you
And it just makes everything like very well connected. I just love it. I just love how everything feels with these dynamic
To fix
zones.
it.
It's
imagine you framed the perfect shot.
And you press the shutter expecting it to look perfect.
I just still feel like this one, I would like it to be more zoomed in. So let's go here.
Shutter expecting it to look perfect.
But the result?
And right now, I'm just gonna try and create every one of them. Like every clip will have this. So let's skip this part.
Subject is moving,
But autofocus
it's moving.
but autofocus
And continuous autofocus shines when you
that stay still.
and
Again.
autofocus is your go-to for
Again.
autofocus is your go-to for most shots.
Single autofocus works great for subjects that stay still.
And continuous autofocus shines when your subject is moving.
But autofocus isn't perfect.
In low light or close-ups, it might miss the mark.
Therefore, switch to manual focus for precise control.
So the trick for sharp photo
Is to choose the right mode for the right
your mode.
Save this tip for our next shoot.
See ya.
struggling to get
And just like that, we have it.
sharp focus photos
Well, here's how to fix it.
Imagine you framed the perfect shot,
and you press shutter expecting it to look perfect.
but the result?
Blurry and out of focus.
Frustrating, right?
Let's make sure that doesn't happen again.
Autofocus is your go-to for most shots.
Single autofocus works great for subjects that stay still.
And continuous autofocus shines when your subject is moving.
So that should pretty much be it, guys. Now we just have like a couple of things left, which are subtitles and titles in general, and just sound effects. Now, a really cool thing here is you can just go to timeline. You can create subtitles from audio or Control-Alt-S. You have any default preset you want to grab, single lines, everything, language. Again, you can set it to English, and just set the characters per line you wanna do. Usually we go between 5 and 10, or we go 1, which is gonna make the subtitles go word by word, which is also really nice to read for us. So let's go for, I don't know, for 8, and let's see how we can go about this. So again, you can see it took no time because already it's transcribed. So every thing is right there. So you can.
Struggling to get sharp focus photos?
Well, here's how to fix it.
Imagine
Okay, and now you can go here and you can set, you can go to track here and you can start changing things. So if you want this color and you want this font and you want it smaller or bigger, whatever you want, the kerning, you can swap it. However, if you go to these 3 little dots, I've already have some presets, which we usually use. So we're just gonna load the preset, and it's just there. Okay, so
Struggling to get sharp focus photos?
Well, here's how to fix it.
Imagine you framed the perfect shot.
And you press shutter expecting it.
now what I usually have to go and do is just make sure the words are written nicely, they are correct. So just making sure there's no error. Sometimes the AI does it. So
Struggling to get sharp focus.
also have the script. So again, this is focused, not focus. And then there should be a comma here. This is not a capital ED, it shouldn't be. Focused.
Focus photos?
Well,
Dots, little dots, well,
here's how to fix it.
and that should be capital H. So just go ahead and do that.
Here's how to fix it.
Imagine you framed the perfect shot.
And you press shutter expecting it to look perfect.
But
You press shutter expecting it to look perfect. Shutter
You see expecting it, and here we'll go to look perfect.
expecting it.
And I'm just gonna elongate this again here, but the result,
Perfect.
but the result?
Blurry and out of focus. Blurry and out of focus. Blurry and out.
and here we'll go, and out of focus.
The result?
Blurry and out of focus.
Frustrating, right?
Let's make sure that
You see, let's make sure the make, you can't even read it.
let's
So
make sure that doesn't happen. Again.
there we go.
Autofocus. Autofocus is your
This should go later.
go-to for most shots.
Single autofocus.
Single autofocus, and probably for those important pieces of information like single autofocus, those names, I usually go about it in a different way, but for the sake of this video, I'm gonna make it simple.
Focus works great for subjects that stay. Focus works great for subjects that stay still. And works great.
Gonna use works great. Now for a subject, that stays still. And here, continuous autofocus, gonna use both. Continuous autofocus, continuous, yeah.
And continuous autofocus shines when your subject is moving. Shines when your subject
When your subject is moving.
shines when your subject is moving.
But autofocus.
But autofocus I like to use capitals here. It's not perfect.
In low light or close-ups, it might
In low light, these two should go together. In low light or close-ups. Here we go for the it or close-ups. It might miss And these two, I'm gonna put them together. The mark, I can already see that. Look at this.
Or close-ups, it might miss the mark. Therefore,
And then therefore,
Switch to.
switch to bring those together. I think it's not the best, but manual focus
Manual focus.
for precise control all together. And period.
so the
And this should be so the trick all together. So the trick.
So the trick for sharp photo.
So here we can cut. And get rid of the so here. You see.
So the trick for sharp photo. Trick for sharp.
Sharp photo.
Photos
Is to choose the right. Is
And this is to choose.
to choose the right mode. Mode for the right moment.
So next time, you're shooting, ask yourself before.
Ask yourself before starting what focus mode
Mode will
will best
suit
suit my needs.
my needs.
Then pick your mode.
Save this tip for our next sheet. Save this tip.
And the save this tip for your next shoot.
Save this tip for our next sheet. See ya. See ya.
Struggling to get sharp focus photos?
Not yeah.
Photos?
Well, here's how to fix it.
Imagine you frame the perfect.
And here, because this I didn't finish. Imagine you framed the perfect shot.
And you press shutter.
And
you press shutter expecting it to look perfect.
But the result.
And that's it, guys. We have the subtitles done. So that's pretty much the workflow we do. Again, for the audio, we don't have time for that. So I'm going to be doing it another day. It's been 1 hour, 20 minutes of editing. So yeah, within 2 hours, we should be able to get one of these videos edited and everything done, including the cover and everything. But just so you know, we will usually go to the audio tab here. We go to the sound library. And since we already have, I don't have it connected right now, I don't think. But yeah, we usually have our own local database. We actually have it connected. So we just would look for some whooshes or everything. Yeah, I don't think it's connected. Add library. Let me see if I have it here. Yeah, sound effect. Yes, and then we should be able to have those, right? So if we want a shutter, for instance, or this is good for the focus, right? So
You press.
Imagine you frame the perfect shot.
I'm gonna make sure I have it on stereo, both channels, like 1, 2,
Frame the perfect.
and then you can see.
Frame the perfect shot.
And you
And I don't want the shutter, I just want the beep beep.
Shot.
and you
Shot.
and you press
Shot.
and you press shutter
And there you go. You can just do that, right? So that's pretty much it for today's video, guys. Hopefully you got to know a little bit more on how we do all this workflow. If it was helpful to you guys, so you can actually see the transcribing system and the power grading action and everything. It's just really great. It makes very efficient. We usually took like 4 or 5 hours to edit one of these, no joke. Now, as you can see, it's like 1 hour 20 minutes and we're almost done already. It's just tweaking a little bit, maybe adding a title and just adjusting the cover and some audio. But again, thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you've made it to the end, and if you have any questions, just make sure you leave them down in the comments and we'll make sure to answer. So, okay, bye-bye.